We are live. Good morning. Good morning. Hello,
Indeed.
community.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. Indeed. I just realized like my handle on here is like huge and like I can hide behind it.
Oh, it's like privacy. It's like I can only talk from over here.
Privacy in the form of my
Except
own
it has
name.
the name. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't really work. Um,
Yeah. Well, welcome everyone, and to anyone who's
yes,
watching
hello.
the video as a recording. Uh, Thanks for
Welcome to
watching.
you as well.
Welcome to you as well, indeed. So this is another community call we're super excited to have, and we have a little bit of a packed agenda today, I guess, right, Ember? Like a lot of things to
Yeah,
get
we do.
through.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
so just a heads up that Gar is going to go first. Then we're going to hear from the cool folks at Zechub, and then we're going to hear from PK Labs, and then you can round us off. So go get a cup of tea or something because it should be a chiller meeting for you. Yay!
Cool. Very excited to have the people from Zechub with us today. I have known them for a really long time. I've actually I'm looking in the waiting room and I've realized I've never actually I was like, oh wait, I've actually never met these people on video. I've only ever chatted with them through chat. So it's really nice to be putting faces to the names. Squirrel,
Yeah.
I've seen you in I don't know, 3 different servers. So when you're up here, I'm super excited to have you on here.
Yeah.
But I won't speak for you in my personal opinion of y'all's accolades and y'all's abilities. So very excited for the guests today. Also, as you mentioned, right, there's a really great team that we've been working with pretty closely who just released the V1 of the Explorer. I'm so stoked about this. It looks so good. They also use some of the design language that is pre-established with Penumbra, which a lot of people can go check out at ui.penumbra.zone. It's the component library that people can use to build their own software experiences to interact with Penumbra. So I know that was partially used to get the Explorer in motion. So I'm really excited to hear more about that and have them talk through what the V1 looks like. So with that, I'll step back and then I'll come back a little bit later. So thanks so much for hosting this, Ember, and for us moving forward with it today.
Absolutely. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening or whatever is going on. Hello. Just as a kind of summary, this is the Penumbra community call, and we have a bunch of sort of representatives of people who are working within the broader Penumbra ecosystem. Gar, don't go away. Um,
I'm not.
and okay. Um, and so we have, for instance, we have Park, who we'll hear from at the end, from CEO of Radiant Commons, which is the go-to-market entity advocating for privacy. We have Gar, who's the product manager over at Penumbra Labs, who's the brilliant genius developers behind all of this. And then we have a couple of other community members who are doing cool stuff who will be presenting as well. So we're going to start it off with Gar. And you
Thank
have
you.
the stage. Yeah,
Thank you, Amber. Okay, so I thought
absolutely.
I would take the opportunity this week to. Last 2 weeks ago, I covered a couple of upcoming features, and one of which prompted some questions to me after the fact, which, first of all, probably means I didn't do a good enough job of explaining it. But second of all, it gives us an opportunity to talk about one of the unique attributes of Veil, the DEX built on Penumbra. The feature that I was talking about was the route book, and I will come back to that at the end of my spiel. But what I'd like to talk about, just as a preamble to that, is again one of the unique features of the DEX engine that powers Veil, and that is the manner in which transactions are executed and routed. So what is unique about our DEX engine is that I love the what's it called, metaphor, I suppose, used on guide.penumbra.zone, where you can read all about this, is that the DEX engine acts like a smart GPS. So essentially what happens is that it's finding the best route for any given trade that is executed on the DEX. So any liquidity that is added to our pool, it's not, if you add liquidity between two given assets, it's not restricted to being used between those assets. what will happen is that the DEX engine will execute any given trade by finding the best trading path across all available liquidity. So if you go to guide.penumbra.zone/DEX, you'll see a diagram of how this liquidity graph works out. So you'll have various liquidity positions within that graph. So they could be between BTC to and then when a trade is executed, the engine will find the best path across all of that available liquidity for you as a trader to get the best price for that trade. So that is, I guess that is very specific to somebody looking to trade an asset or to execute a trade. But what does that mean for liquidity providers? So for liquidity providers, let's think about what they actually want to do. They want to provide liquidity in such a way that it is executed upon such that they can gather fees on that liquidity, on those liquidity positions. Now, in order to do that effectively, they need to understand where the most effective liquidity lives in the DEX and what is the liquidity that is being executed upon the most, as it stands today. So one of the ways that they can do that is by looking at the route book. I don't have a way to share. I should have done this beforehand, but I can describe it. Right now, the route book panel or it within Veil will show you for a list of the most recent executions, how many hops were taken in order to execute that specific trade. In some cases, it's just one hop. If there's enough liquidity between, let's say, BTC and that's what will happen. But in the cases where the DEX engine needs to act like that GPS and find the most optimal route, you will be able to see the hops that it took along the way. Right now, all you can see are the actual hops that it took. But what I will do now is share a window, which is this one. And this is what you're looking at here is what will eventually become the V2 of the route book. So again, what you can see today is that you can see that for a given execution, you would be able to see that it went from to Osmo, from Osmo to Atom, and from Atom to USDC. And again, that is executing a trade from to USDC using this smart GPS system. But in V2 of the route book, what LPs will be able to see is the actual positions that were executed upon for that trade to take place. And so an LP will then be able to see those individual trades or individual positions, link out to view the details of those individual positions, and then we'll be able to gather intel that will allow them to more effectively build their own liquidity provision strategy. So this is something that we're really excited about. It will take a little bit of time to develop and release. There will be some protocol changes that need to happen in order for this to be possible, but it should be happening in the next month or two. And it's a part of a broader project that we're working on to provide more and more transparency to liquidity providers such that it's easier and more efficient for them to build their own strategies. So that is what I wanted to share today. Oh, actually, no, it's not. There was one more thing. If I can find it. So right now, one of the other things that we're working on is speccing out Prax V2. There is a lot of opportunity for, and I should say Prax is the wallet that is used to interact with the Penumbra protocol. And I should say that there are a lot of opportunities to extend upon, I should stop sharing. You can tell that I don't present to crowds much. There are lots of opportunities to extend on the functionality of Prax and also just general usability. Now, we can't do this in a vacuum. We want to hear from all of you, our community, the people that we do all this wonderful work for. In order to do that, I've put together a quick survey, which I will drop. Oh, I actually can't drop it into join the chat. Oh dear. Ember, do you mind sharing that link that I sent you earlier for the survey? Or if not, we can do it.
We'll share it far and wide. We'll do it on the Twitter. We'll do it in the Discord. You won't be able to miss it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, well, a link will be shared, which links to a survey that will help us to gather the requirements, what's called a wish list. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from you about the things that Prax does well, the things that it definitely could do better, and most importantly, the features that we should be adding to it such that it does the things that you want to do when you open it. So there you go. So please feel free to respond to that. And there's also an option right at the bottom there to indicate whether you'd like to take part in ongoing user research. So please feel free to share your contact details there if you'd like to do some more kind of proactive research in the future. And that's me.
Amazing. Thank you, Gar. Yep, stay tuned. Everyone will be able to see the link survey, and we do have some onboarding opportunities coming up. I'm going to change how we look so that we're bigger. Definitely have some onboarding opportunities for people who want to get involved in user testing that will be compensated. So we really appreciate everyone who gives their valuable time to testing things out, and we will be supporting you in that endeavor. So stay tuned. This is all sort of part of that. I'm so used to Park jumping in. Do you want to say anything, Park, or should we just continue on? I can see your face if you want to. I can't hear you, but I can see your face. Hang on.
Yeah, I
You
just
good?
wanted to jump in and say, yes,
Yeah.
I am. I just wanted to jump in and say that, first of all, thank you, Gar, for giving us a little bit of a preview on stuff that's coming. And then just as a reminder to anyone who's watching right now, there is an active trading interface that people can interact with that is live at dex.penumbra.zone. You can connect your Prax wallet to it. You can trade assets that are accessible to Penumbra over IBC. You can provide liquidity if that's something you're interested in doing. And as a reminder, any IBC transfer into Penumbra is instantly private, meaning that IBC transfers into Penumbra are the privacy boundary for the network. So that's just something to keep in mind. This means that once you have entered the Penumbra, you are private. So it's just something to keep in mind and feel pretty excited about. So I just wanted to add that because I think maybe it's always important to remind everyone of the fact that there's something that you can actually go and use today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Park. All right, next up, I think we have the Zcash folks. So Squirrel, that's just you, yeah? I think so. All right, come on up, and I'm gonna make Park go away. This is so fun.
Hello.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, hi. It's great to be here with the Penumbra people on a community call. So yeah, I guess I could introduce what we're doing, why we're here.
Yeah,
I'm
and say
Squirrel.
who you are and what brought you here.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a core team member on Zechub, and Zechub is a educational hub. It's a project. It's about 3 years old, and we provide educational resources. So since the beginning, we've created documentation specifically for Zcash right at the start. But what we do now is all privacy projects, essentially. I'm going to try and share my screen. But it needs to be the right one. Okay. Right, so this, I hope you can see, is the Zechub wiki. And so there's been several iterations of this, and it's a knowledge base. And everything on here has been researched and created by contributors from all across the world. And so the central purpose of what we do is to host a bounty program. And the idea is to demonstrate real-world usage of private payment systems. So in this case, we've been accepted for a grant by Penumbra. And so we're going to be demonstrating real-world payments for people who wish to contribute to the Penumbra ecosystem and earn How does this happen? It happens using dwork. So if you go to dwork.zechub.org, you'll find a bounty board. And so you can view, I don't know if it's loading, but you should be able to view tasks that are pending or to do, tasks that are in progress, some which are in review, and those that are done. So it's completely transparent. The amounts which we issue for bounties is shown there as well. Due dates, all the details. So we have different sections. On the left, you can see this is right now the Zcash section. There's also a Zcash Espanol section. We have a design sub-DAO, and there's one task open for Penumbra. What we'll be doing, I don't know if I could share Discord as well. Let me try. Share screen. Okay, we're in Discord, and this is the Penumbra Discord. So if you're interested in contributing to the Penumbra ecosystem, join the Discord. You don't need to be a super dev to contribute to the Penumbra ecosystem. You could be like a graphic designer, or you could be interested in creating video tutorials, for example, for Veil decks. So if this interests you, if this sounds like you could do it, join the server. Specifically, you should be looking into the contributors section where we have a Zcash portal. And if you want to chat with any Zcashers or view tasks for Penumbra, it'll be here. Right. So maybe just a quick closing note. I'll share a different screen. We are also a DAO. And so Zechub isn't like controlled by core team members. In fact, there's a DAO, there's 20 members. We could go to members, 20 members. It's open to anyone if you wish to become a DAO member and like say the direction that you would like Zechub to go in. You could make a proposal. And if there's any specific project that you're interested in carrying out, for example, becoming an ambassador of some sort, creating some kind of special website or service, you can create a DAO proposal. I think the only requirement is that you have Kepler wallet and some Juno, which we can provide as well. Okay, happy to take questions or anything.
That's amazing. Squirrel, so what kind of bounties will be at play for fulfilling these particular requests that are posted?
Yes, right now we have a open bounty to create a poster design which illustrates threshold custody wallets. I might be wrong. I haven't seen any like in production use of Penumbra threshold custody, but it will be something that people use. And so this is a good example. I think we have a number of people who've already applied for it. So something I could add is when you are applying for tasks, try to include links to any relevant or similar work that you've done in the past, because it helps us select the right person.
Absolutely amazing. I'm also going to hop in and remind folks you're already familiar with that if you're following us or if you're in the Discord, but we are participating in Web3 Privacy Now's Meme-a-thon for the month of April. So we really value people contributing in all kinds of ways. That one's pretty fun. Posters, visuals, just getting the word out, sharing this like complex and really cool thing in ways that people can understand and use. It's kind of what we're all about. So thank you so much for that, Squirrel. Do we have any questions? I'm just looking to Park just because, yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's a habit at this point, isn't it? Yeah, I really appreciate you being here, Squirrel. Like I said, I've known you for a few years. I actually wanted to maybe, I think you gave a little bit of a spiel about Zechub, but I'd be really curious, like, you could talk a little bit about like what the background from Zechub is and some of its roots as well, because since you've been around for a while.
Absolutely, yeah. So there's someone called excuse me.
It's fine.
Someone called Yanis who created Zechub. I didn't create it. It was someone else. And it was his baby. And he kind of entrusted it to core team members. The idea behind it was this has to be something that if one person like gets hit by a bus, then the project can survive.
Yeah.
So yeah, he entrusted it to the core team members to maintain this bounty program, to build the website. And so the Zechub Wiki website now actually has a dashboard. I wonder if I could share my screen again.
You can do it. You can do it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Also, just as like maybe a question that fills the air while you're looking to fill the screen is also like, why is Zechub so focused on supporting other privacy protocols other than Zcash? That's something that I've always like been very pleased to see, right? But
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to give you a chance to talk about.
Well, we believe that privacy can be from several different other projects. There's some things we started with Zcash. There's some things Zcash doesn't do, and people still need privacy when they're interacting if they want USDC, for example, or if they want to like use Dex or something like that. And so educating people on how to access these technologies, it also fulfills our purpose. That's why like we're hoping to be a shielded ecosystem education hub. Yeah, I think that's the main reason why. Another reason is like in privacy in particular, you see this a lot. Take for example Zcash versus Monero, or like
yes,
in crypto you tend to see, because these assets are like necessary for the security of the network, and like drive the to some degree they drive like the economic activity on the network. People like become very tribal around specific assets and become maximalists. So
yeah,
we're trying to stop that.
I appreciate that. I think it's really important. More privacy is more better. It's kind of how we like to joke about it here at Penumbra. So what are we looking at here?
We're looking at a dashboard showing Zcash network metrics. So this was built over time by several different contributors. And we see the total shielded supply, the Sprout pool supply, sapling, and orchard. And there's also a shielded transactions chart. So this gives you like the cumulative number of transactions and as a result, the estimated anonymity set of the network. And because Zcash is similar in some ways to Penumbra, because there's the sapling payment protocol, it might be possible to list similar metrics for different networks. So yeah, this is a cool thing that we're hoping to do. If you're interested in contributing, you can click contribute and enter your Penumbra address here.
Love it. Thank you so much for doing that. It's a great honor, honestly, to have y'all working with us and having applied to the grants program. So I just want to thank you on my own part from Radiant Commons, so just like for having you here and having you be a part of the Penumbra community. Like, you know, I like to think that I think there's a little bit of like, it's not just like chain maximalism. There's also like community maximalism sometimes. And that's a problem because like tribalism in terms of like the communities means that communities become less willing to work with one another. And I think that if we treat privacy as though it's a zero-sum game, then we're never actually going to get privacy to win. So I'm really appreciative of the service that you all provide. And I'll hand it back to you, Ember.
Yep, all good. it looks like someone else from Zechub had all the data is on your GitHub, and that's the GitHub that's being shared. Incredible. Squirrel, do you have anything else you wanted to add? I don't think this will be the last time that we'll have you on here, as this project continues, as we want to keep having you around.
I wanted to say thank you both. Yeah, we're super happy about the Zcash portal, and yeah, super appreciative. Thank you.
Fabulous. Okay, incredible. I'm gonna knock you off the stage. All right. Next we have Sergey and Ernesto. Are we feeling good? Feeling ready?
I'm excited.
Moving you up anyways. All right. Yeah, me too. Okay. Now I'm like shuffling you all around. Okay, now Park, go away. All right. Hello. Good morning. Good evening. How we doing? Tell us who you are and what's up.
Hello, everyone. So probably I will start. Thank you for this great chance to be here with the Penumbra community. We're really excited with Ernesto to share who we are and what we're working on in the community. So I'm Sergey, a CEO of PK Labs. It's a Swiss software development company. We are specialized in blockchain application development. And specifically in development of blockchain explorers. And as a company building applications for end users, we are really passionate about improving user experience in the community. So it's easy to use all the functions of the blockchain, all these things that core team members put in their protocols. And because of that, we made a lot of work on Penumbra Explorer development. And this was possible because of Ernesto, our lead product designer, who has a lot of experience in building really cool and user-friendly applications. So Ernesto, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Sergey. Hi, everyone. I will introduce myself. My name is Ernesto. I have around over a decade of experience in product design. I have worked in many different industries as fintech, also industrial and enterprise applications. And basically, my work is to create the application simple and user-friendly and simplify complex systems.
Cool. So then I think I would like to talk a little bit about our progress with Blockchain Explorer and share that we recently released the first version of Blockchain Explorer. You can go to explore.penumbra.zone and take a look yourself. So I think I will share my screen and show a little bit the website. So can you see the screen? Cool. So this is the homepage of Blockchain Explorer. It's the first version, so not everything is available here yet. We were focused mainly on integrating the basic functions, like here you can see the current block, number of transactions, list of all the blocks in the blockchain, and list of all transactions that happened in the blockchain. What is interesting here is that if you go into any transaction, you can actually see different information about the transaction. And we tried to show here all the parameters which are important for users to know and which are also available in the wallet, like actions or memo. But as Penumbra is a privacy blockchain, you cannot see all these details here as an external user, but you can see that there is something going on under the hood. And this helps users to understand how Penumbra works, because it's a privacy blockchain which actually encrypts a lot of data but there are some parameters which are available to anyone else to explore. And here you can actually understand what is available and what is not. And if you are also a developer, we have a very useful function here to explore raw JSON, where you can find all the information that is coming from blockchain and use it for your use case if you're building anything on Penumbra. And I think the last thing that I wanted to mention about this version of the Explorer, we worked a lot with Radiant Commons and Penumbra Labs to make sure that we're building a consistent UI, a UI which is consistent across different applications. And that's why the card that you see here in the Explorer, it's going to be also available in the wallet application. And then there you will be able to see different versions of this card with decrypted and encrypted state, which will allow you to have the same user experience across all the applications and not get distracted when you move across applications and see different screens. So I think that's what I wanted to talk about the version 1. We also were currently working on next iterations of the Explorer, specifically on IBC, validator screens, and later we will work on DEX and governance screens. And I think I want to ask Ernesto to share a little bit more about the process of development, the design process, how we approach the development of IBC and validator screens right now, as it's very important and it's very interesting for everyone to hear. So please, Ernesto, go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you, Sergey. I will share my screen. Let me know if you can see. Perfect. Okay, I will make you a walkthrough of the design process we are following to create the Penumbra Explorer. We are using user-centered design. It's a process that follows different steps. Then the idea is that the outcome of this process is to create a good user experience, that we can create an application where we take in consideration your opinions. Sergey is usually sharing some surveys in Discord, I think, and also for take every feedback you want to give us about how you use the Penumbra applications. In this process, we go into 4 phases. That is basically analyze the context or the way you use Penumbra and how do you want to use it, to define the user requirements and needs. Then we create some mockups and prototypes, and then we evaluate the technical possibilities for implementation. I will make you also a walkthrough about what is coming next. We are working in a feature called IBC. In this feature, we are going to show the connections from Penumbra with all the other chains in IBC. This more or less is the design that we are building on. We can see the different information regarding the transactions and the channels of every chain. And we are going to actually see this information from the transactions in the transaction cards also. And you will be able also to search about these different connections. Also, we are working for a validator section where you can see all the information required for you to become a delegator or to become a validator, or see all the performance of everyone here, and detailed pages where you can see more in detail every element. So this is still work in progress, and of course we will keep asking for feedback from you. And well, this is an overview of what we are doing, and thank you. If you have any questions.
Amazing. Thank you, Ernesto, for sharing this. I
Thank you.
think what I also wanted to add is that a lot of Explorer developers, teams developing Explorers, they have very technical background, or they are many of them are validators building this tool as an additional feature for their community. And we want to build Explorers differently. For us, these Explorers are not just a dashboard for visualizing data. It's a website which allows users to actually understand how the blockchain works. And we want to show only the information which is the most important for users, and help to, and we want to structure this information in the way that it's easier for users to understand what's going on in the blockchain. And that's why we put a lot of work into thinking about designs, asking community about what they are using in the blockchain, so we can take all this feedback and use it to build the best user experience. Yeah, I think that's it. Amber, please.
Yeah, I'm just chiming in there because Noctis was also like the we had the community decide on the name, we had the community decide on the logo. Like we've had people kind of like be able to give their 2 cents every step of the way, so that this can be an experience that's useful for you. And we've had this beta tested. I'm sure there will be future rounds of testing. So yes, this is very much a labor of like with community input, really every step of the way. Pac.
Oh, I mean, I want to say, so like on the Radiant Commons side of things, we've been working with the PK Labs team for, I mean, I guess it's been like 3 months now, right?
Yes.
I could just sing your praises all day long. You all are a very professional team, and you pivot around making sure that the product really fits the spec. And then whenever you have difficulties, it's like really great to see how you adapt and move from there. I did have a couple questions, which were so you're like one of the first teams to develop something that that isn't the core team, using pieces of Penumbra's software and what it is that the network makes available. What would you say that experience has been like? And you can be brutally honest here. But also, what have been some like challenges that you've seen in like working with private data? I mean, you've worked on Explorers before, and I mean, obviously, Selenium is a fantastic Explorer for Celestia. But I'm very curious, like, what has it been like to deal with private data from the Explorer side? So, first question is like, what's the experience of developing with Penumbra been like? And the second one is like, what has it been like to specifically work with the data itself?
Well, I think we are surprised by the level of core team in the ecosystem, and that there are actually, the team is not very big, where it's pretty common to have big foundations around different blockchains and a lot of people around, but actually there are not so many core developers working on the product. And here we see a very high concentration of very talented developers trying to maximize the output of their work. And we feel that we enjoy interacting with people because they are very responsive. They help us with everything. There are no communication problems. Everything is fast, and we think that this is a very important part of any project, because it's not only about the technology, it's also about the team, how team works, about their vision, and at the same time, technology is also amazing. So, I mean, to be honest, there is nothing to complain from our side. The only
That's
maybe
awesome.
problem is that because the team is so smart, it's sometimes difficult to keep up with the pace and learn how our things feel, because we want also to match the level.
Right.
And sometimes it's a little bit challenging. It requires us to invest some time, but we enjoy that because it's also a learning curve for us, and we're really excited. So
I'm super
that's, I
glad to hear
think,
that. That's
my
awesome.
feedback.
It's actually a
That's
great
great.
team, and it has been a great experience until now. And we are all day studying to be at the same level. Great.
Awesome. That's really cool.
And also, I think what I want to mention is, I think this is the first project where we have this UI library, which is aimed to make the user experience consistent across different applications, which is very special thing. And I think a lot of teams, they don't build UI libraries because it's just hard. You need a specific level to do that. But if you are able to do that, then the user experience is the next level, I
Yeah,
think.
it's a great
That's
library
awesome.
also. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a gamble putting that in motion. I really have to like thank our founding designer for coming up with the idea and pushing it forward. So I'm really glad to hear that because I think you're right. Like it was very difficult to produce it. But it's hopefully this is a resource that's going to be available or that's going to be useful to everyone going forward. A lot of Penumbra's stack is built around this principle, right? So like the UI library has like a set of components that can be used and kind of, I don't want to use the term slapped together because it's harder than that, but can be used to create a unified product experience. But there's a lot of other pieces that are behind that too, right? Like there's the protobufs library, which can speak at some other time. There's the indexer, which is native to the network that helps populate things. So this takes me back to that second question I kind of had because I wanted to like kind of ask about that a little bit. Like, what has it been like to work with the private data itself? Like dealing with the fact that like there's it's a network that doesn't really reveal everything that's available to a user.
I think it's challenging because in the way that we want to show as much data as possible, but a lot of data is encrypted. So like what can we show? And that's why we try to really understand. And also when everything is encrypted, it's difficult you don't have a lot of tools to explain something to users. So that's why you try to use what is available, all these ideas and like without showing the data, you can show the data structure, like for example, list of actions that you can see on a transaction view. And even though you don't see what's going on there, I mean, what you don't see all the details, but you can understand what happened. And I think this is very valuable, so that people know that actually it's not that nothing is available. I mean, you can understand what's going on, and this is
Also,
cool.
reading the documentation also, it's good for us to see which data it is encrypted and which data.
Yeah, and I think it's also we learned a lot from the documentation. I agree with Ernesto. So and it's really cool because I know that it's hard to write good documentation, and Penumbra team that did a lot of great work.
Good work. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will pass that on to the people who wrote it because I think like you're very right. That's it's very thankless work to write documentation. So I think sometimes when someone actually offers thanks and they hear it, it's no longer thankless. So I think there's something really cool there as well that I would want to maybe take this as an opportunity to bring attention to, which is what you just said, right? Like Penumbra is an encrypted network when it comes to it, which means that all of the privacy on the network starts and ends with the users, the people who are actually utilizing a device to generate the proofs that get posted to the network. But so that kind of asks the question, right? Like around building a block explorer, like what you just showed us, like it gives people a sense for what it is that happens on the network. And like you said, right, like you're looking through it and you realize like, oh, well, you can actually label the actions. You know the actions are happening on the network. You just can't tell the specifics of the actions. And I think this is like a very important thing for a user to understand. So I really think it's been great to see you all design this into the Explorer, which is that the activity on the network is public, right? It's just not public who's doing it. And this is a crucial design paradigm and part of the language of using a blockchain that is private is that it actually gives users full autonomy while still allowing the network to incorporate a design principle of like having activity be public. And like, obviously like activity meaning like not like, oh, I can see that one account, I don't know who the account is, but one account is sending me everything out there. But like you can see that like transactions are happening on the network. And it's really this information that is utilized to build things like the DEX on the network. It's like all of that visible data, all of the activity that's actually available on the network is what allow things like the decentralized exchange at the center of Penumbra to exist. Again, just really, really appreciative to have you all working on this Explorer. It's been such a pleasure. And obviously like what the preview you just gave makes me think that there's even more exciting things to see on the future. And it means we'll have you back on this call so you can talk through what those things are. But more importantly, it's just awesome to see a first team taking on something so complicated and using it as an opportunity to explain the advantages of this network as a private interoperable privacy network, like but not just based on privacy, right? Like specifically focused on the user. So I really want to thank you both for being here and talking through it.
Thank you very much as well. And I always mention this on our private calls, internal calls, that actually without great team without great core team, our work would not be possible. So that's why it's the result of collaboration. That's why I think we're really happy to work together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think this is a shout out to the Penumbra Labs team, some of whom are kind of sitting in the waiting room, but like again, also from Radiant Commons. It's a pleasure to work with you all and be building this amazing private ecosystem that's like aiming towards the user experience being the most important part of it. So yeah, I think beyond that, Em, did you want to get back on stage and we can kind of like wrap this out a little bit?
Yeah, I'm still kind of reeling. I feel like I'm blushing from all of that, like all of that, like love that we just got.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for everything, and we're so excited to keep this project going. Here, I can remove you guys from the stage. This was supposed to be you to kind of wrap us up. Let's see, Sergey can go where Misto. Thanks for coming. Yeah, so we've had a ton of exciting stuff being shared today. So we had GAR sharing updates and new testing for V2 of Prex wallet and feedback mechanisms for that. We have new view for the route book. We have Zechub, who's in the Discord, offering bounties for education, for making stuff to share about Penumbra. We have the Block Explorer going live, and blah! What does all this mean?
So many
Bring
things,
it home.
Yeah. It's really good to see this stuff kind of like blooming around the Penumbra ecosystem, and I'm very excited for like the near future. I think we've mentioned a few times in community calls that there are some other like more protocol oriented developments that are on the way as well. So all of you who are out there in the audience, please stay tuned. There is going to be something in the next couple of months that's very worth paying attention to. I see a lot of people commenting, we love privacy and privacy loves company, right? Like, so it's very great to have the Zechub folks here. We also in the Discord, I want to give a little shout out to the Namada team, because like there are some core community members who jumped into our Discord and established a channel between Penumbra and Namada, which means there's like two privacy pools that can interact with one another. Huge deal, very exciting. And there's going to be more and more history just made so that privacy doesn't become something that like we have to continue fighting for in crypto, but rather something that just comes there as a given. And this kind of factors into what it is that we are hoping to see in the ecosystem as kind of the direction for Penumbra, which is really just being, it should be the most user-oriented ecosystem. And what that means is like privacy is a core quality of what it means to build product experiences in crypto. It should have always been that way. And now it's actually possible. And particularly with all the requirements of understanding all of the evolution of crypto up to this point, all the infrastructure that's been built around it, it's building an experience that is oriented around users and their ability to use all of the networks that exist throughout all of crypto. So the eventual hopeful goal is that Penumbra becomes a place that people can start and end from. It is your home. It's a place that you can come back to and you feel safe holding your assets inside of. And that allows us to ensure that you can utilize everything that's available out of all the technology that's being developed while still preserving your individual informational autonomy. So yeah, I get another great community call. Amber, thank you so much for hosting this, and thank you so much to our guests, right?
Yeah,
And
we haven't had
as we
many
always say,
questions or anything, but
mhm,
we're in the Discord. You can find us. We're
you can
not
always
hard to
find us.
find. But yeah, if anyone has any questions for right now or any other reactions, it seems like amazingly we're wrapped up. Yeah, if you feel good, I'm like, yeah, join the Discord. Discord.
Oh, Discord. Whoops, that's
Not
a
that one.
typo right there.
You can find us
I mean,
Discord. It's Penumbra Zone.
should it just be called like disorg instead? I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, there we
beautiful.
go.
Well done.
There we
Yeah,
go.
please
That's the
please
better
join us
one.
in the
Okay.
Discord. You can find us there. And
Awesome.
yeah, let's keep building. This is very exciting.
Let's keep building, everyone. We'll see you on the next one in a couple weeks.
Yeah. See you guys.